It's tactic time. Are you tired of the short passing tactics? High tempo, same sort of formula? We are mixing it up with this one. This one is designed to break the meta, still dominate your games, still score you a ton of goals, and still win you a ton of trophies. That's right. We're going to see if Manchester City can play direct passing. We also test it out with Middlesbrough and with Bolton, and I'm going to run through all the tests right now. Let's get into it. Okay, starting with the elite team test. And despite what some people say, you cannot just chuck in any tactic and win everything with Manchester City, especially when you're fighting against the game's favourite instructions. But that's exactly what we've done on this direct passing tactic with a few roles that the game isn't particularly fond of either. But we've won everything. Erling Haaland, I will say, whatever tactic you do use with him, he will score a lot of goals. But he's got 57 in total on this one, 37 in the league, 57 in total. And he only started 26 games, 7 off the bench, 37 goals in the league. It's a good one for Haaland, but I know this isn't going to convince you to try it. But let's check out another test. Next up, Middlesbrough. Predicted to finish 5th. But we finished 1st. 112 goals. 55 against, goal difference of 57, so the best in the league. 104 points. Automatic promotion as champions for Middlesbrough. Third and final test, and Sam Allardyce will be proud of this one. It's Bolton. They're top, and they've got 106 points. 121 goals for, 19 more than Derby County, who were the favourites for the league. Goal difference 71. Like I say, 106 points. Bolton going up to the championship. Okay, so if we're going direct and we're changing some roles, you're going to see some different patterns of play and different styles of goals. So here's a 5-1 win against Everton, just as an example of some of the goals you can expect. You can see there's your deeper striker, 2 wingers, your 2 defensive midfielders, and your back 4. We've won the ball high up the pitch, and now we move. Winger brings it forward, back to the defensive midfielder. Good hit. Free kick in, not part of the tactic, but effective nonetheless. I'm going to slow this one down a little bit. So, you've got your 2 centre-backs there, 2 full-backs there, 2 defensive midfielders, and your attacking front line, your 2 wingers and your forwards. That full-back bringing it forward. Nice, quick, direct passing. So it's gone. You can see how quickly it's moved from back to front. I think that's sometimes what we confuse with direct. When I say direct, it doesn't mean long ball. It means direct. It means we're getting the ball. The idea is when the ball is passed, it's going forward. And you can see it just push it through the lines here really quickly. 1, 2, 3, bang. We're in. We're direct. We're forward. Next goal. Rodri's got it out wide. He'll be one of the defensive midfielders. There's the other one. There's your front 4. He's obviously the most attacking of the strikers. Back line is in a line. Forward, 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 goal. Next goal. Again, you can see the shape. It holds the shape, and then we just push it through the line. So, centre back. No nonsense centre back. There is a ball. You'll see it a lot from the no nonsense centre backs. They're really good at this. I almost see them like a deep lying defensive playmaker because some of the passes they pull off are really good. They spot the space in behind, and whoever's running into it, they will get on the end of it. So look, you've got Diaz here. He's obviously got a high passing ability, but it's having the instructions to allow him to use it. He's got the ball. Good ball to Doku, straight with a cross, and it's on to Haaland's head. 5-1 win. It's not a possession tactic, but this one, we were all over them. So here is the tactic. Yeah, you can see there's a few roles in here you don't see very often. A few that you do. Got to balance it out, but there's a few roles here we've popped in to make sure that if we're going direct, we're using different roles as well. Before I jump into the team instructions and the player instructions, if you're liking the video, please hit like, hit subscribe, hit the notification bell so you know when I drop a tactic. Appreciate all the support on the channel so far. It's been amazing. Long time now until FM26 comes out, and we will keep bringing the tactics until then. But let's jump into this one. If you are downloading it, download it, pop it in the tactics folder, and this will all be there ready for you to use. If you're on mobile and console, you need to make sure it says all of these instructions and the player instructions, and the tactic will work as intended. Doesn't matter what you start with here, just needs to have all these included. So, attacking, we've gone attacking. Here are a few different ones. So we have gone narrow, we've gone pass into space, gone down the wings, we've gone slightly more direct. With that, I've dropped the tempo a little bit. We are using direct passing, but I didn't want to make the tempo that high because I find that they just kick it forward and there's no thought in it. I do want them to get it forward quickly, but we don't want to just give away possession all the time. We don't want to rush it. So I've dropped that a little bit. Just makes that a little bit of difference in the gameplay, and you do notice it if you knock it up. They're far more wasteful with the ball. Got wingers. We've got two strikers. We're hitting early crosses. We're mixing up the crosses. Normally, on other tactics, you've seen low crosses, and I won't have the hit early crosses on there because we get to the byline and they cut it back. It's a really good way to score goals. With this one, if we're hitting them early, we don't want to hit low crosses. We want to have the option to whip it in. We want to have the option to float it in. We're mixing it up with the crosses, and we've got run at defense on. In transition, counter press, counter when we've won the ball. I'm not telling the goalkeeper how to kick it out, but I am telling him where to kick it. So, if you haven't done this before, normally you'll be on this page. In order to match this up, you need to distribute to a position. And then I've picked that striker, the right-sided striker. Hard to see, I know. But I've picked that striker. He is who we are distributing the ball to. So again, I do that. I do that. I'm not telling him how. I mean, rolling it out would be a little bit silly because it's not likely to be anywhere near him. But I'm not telling him how. That is the player we are aiming to hit the ball to. Might not win every header, and then we get players around it. But that is who we were aiming for with this one. Out to possession. We are much higher defensive line, high line of engagement with a high press, trigger press much more often, prevent goalkeeper distribution, and we are stepping up. We've got those instructions on there. Yeah, a few different ones. Now let's take a look at the player instructions. Before I do that, if you have signed up to my Patreon, you'll have already had a chance to use this tactic. If you haven't, and you want those unreleased tactics, or you want early access to the ones that I bring out, the link to my Patreon will be in the description. And yeah, you'll have already had this. You'll have already tried it. But if not, jump on over there. You'll catch the next one early. Now, we jump into this. First player role. We'll go with the fullback on attack. Cross from the byline, cut inside with the ball, stay wider, tackle harder. Same on the other side. Jump back to the goalkeeper. He is just a goalkeeper. He's not a sweeper keeper, and he is just on tackle harder. Then we got the two no-nonsense centre-backs. 1, 2, both on tackle harder with their coded instructions included. Now, with these, they're actually really good players to have in your team, especially in a tactic like this. Some of the passes these pull off. You've got these players, and sometimes they'll be knocking it about by here, and all of a sudden it'll work its way back to a no-nonsense centre-back, and they will just find this ball over the top to the striker or to a winger, and it's just great to see. So they are another really dangerous passing option against teams with a high line. But they don't give the ball away needlessly, but they have got direct passes built in. You will see some fantastic long-range passes from these two players, taking advantage, like I said, of the advanced forward running in behind and against teams with a high line. The Volantes, two Volantes, hard-working role, and that's what we want in the middle. The one on the right, just on tackle harder, more defensively minded, to line up with the striker who plays slightly deeper. And on this side, we've got take more risks, dribble more, move into channels, and tackle harder. So he's the more attacking one of the two, just based on the instructions. But role-wise, they are a role. They get up and down the pitch, which is very useful when you've got all this space in the middle and you're knocking it long, trying to win that second ball when the goalkeeper is distributed in long. That's why we've got that role in the middle. Left side, popular role, inside forward. Stay wider this time though and tackle harder. So he's working with the fullback and also leaving the space for the Volante to join the attacks. Over on this side, wide target forward. Not a role I've had in any of my tactics so far. Really fun role to use though in this one. Obviously we're using that direct pass in and we're distributing to this striker, and it's just another good passing option when you're trying to get the ball forward really quickly. He's not going to dribble very often. He does hold up the ball. So when you get it to him, when one of these players from the back or from the midfield or even the goalkeeper might see an option sometimes to knock it to him, when they find him, he will just hold on that ball for a few seconds, allowing the Volantes to get forward, allowing the fullbacks to get forward. And that just means that you've got more players in attack. It's not a rushed attack. We're getting the ball forward, getting into attacking areas, but we're not rushing what we're doing with it. Allowing players to join, giving himself more options to pass to create effective attacks. He'll also work well with the deep line forward. So I've got him on stay wider. Again, when the Volante gets forward, there's this space here. But this guy will also drop in. He will also hold up the ball. This side, very direct. Very run with the ball, get forward. This side, a bit more patient. I've asked the deep line forward to still dribble with the ball, but he will also hold up the ball, take more risks, move into channels, occupy this space. That's why we've got this guy staying a little bit wider. Advance forward, they never need many instructions. I like just chucking tackle hard on them. They're a really effective role. You don't need to ask them to do any more than they will naturally do in the game. And that's today's tactic. We've broken the norm. We're not going short passing. We have gone direct, but we have still gone and got a load of goals and a load of trophies. If you like the meta, if you like the short passing, but you just like different shapes, plenty of videos on the channel, so please check them out if you haven't already. You want the unreleased tactics, so some of them are unreleased because they only work with top teams, some of them unreleased because they just work with the bottom teams. Try and bring out the plug and play ones on here. If you want them, they are all on my Patreon. So the link to that and the download link for the tactic will be in the description. As for today, tactic time is done.